David Carter never expected his life to change with a single email. It arrived in the dead of night, buried in his inbox with no subject line, no sender, just one line of text. If you're ready to change the world, be at this location in 24 hours. Come alone. There was an attachment, GPS coordinates in the middle of the Nevada desert. No further instructions. No signature. Then, as quickly as it had appeared, the email deleted itself. Gone. Before we continue, let me ask you, if you received a mysterious invitation from someone powerful, would you follow it? Hit that subscribe button, because what happens next? No one was prepared for it. David wasn't a nobody. He was a mechanical engineer, brilliant but stuck. He had ideas, big ones, but no way to make them a reality. Companies passed him over. Investors ignored him. And then this email arrived. He spent the next few hours debating. It could be a prank, a scam, but deep down, something told him this was real. A gut feeling he couldn't shake. So he packed a bag, bought a one-way ticket, and by sunrise, he was on a plane heading into the unknown. When he landed, a black SUV was waiting. No driver, no instructions, just an open door. David hesitated for only a second before stepping inside. The door shut behind him, locking him into a decision he could never take back. The car moved in silence. No music, no signals on his phone, just miles of empty road stretching toward a place no map would show. Finally, after hours, the SUV pulled up to a heavily guarded compound. Towering gates, armed security, no markings. David's pulse pounded as the doors unlocked. He stepped out into a facility built for something big, something secret. The sun was setting when a voice crackled over hidden speakers. Calm, calculated. Welcome. You were chosen because you think differently. But thinking isn't enough. You need to prove it. The gates creaked open, revealing 9 others standing in the courtyard. Scientists, coders, entrepreneurs, each one as brilliant as him. A massive screen lit up. And then, Elon Musk's face appeared. He smiled slightly, eyes scanning the group like he was reading their minds. This is not a job interview. This is a test. The winner gets everything. The rest, well, you'll find out soon enough. The screen flickered off. A door slid open. David stepped forward, heartbeat hammering. The test had begun. Now, let me ask you, if you were invited to a secret billionaires challenge, would you take the risk? Or would you walk away? Drop your answer in the comments. And stay tuned, because what happens next? It only gets crazier. David stepped through the door, his mind racing. The hallway ahead was stark, smooth metallic walls, dim overhead lighting, and no windows. It felt less like a corporate facility and more like something out of a science fiction movie. The other competitors followed, each one just as confused but masking it well. No one spoke. No one wanted to be the first to break the silence. They were all waiting to see what came next. A voice echoed from hidden speakers. Not Musk this time, but an automated system. Proceed forward. The first challenge begins now. A low hum filled the corridor as the far wall shifted, revealing a large open space. The group entered cautiously, their footsteps the only sound in the massive room. It looked like a laboratory. High-tech screens lined the walls, flickering with unknown data. In the center stood 10 identical workstations, each with a console, a mechanical arm, and an unknown object under a glass dome. Each of you has 10 minutes. The voice instructed. Solve the problem in front of you. Only those who succeed move forward. The rest are eliminated. David inhaled sharply. Eliminated. They didn't say what that meant, and no one was about to ask. A countdown timer flashed on the screens. 10 o'clock. The glass domes hissed open, revealing a tangled mess of wires, circuits, and unfamiliar technology. David's hands moved on instinct. He wasn't the smartest in the room, but he had something the others didn't. He could think under pressure. Some contestants hesitated, trying to analyze every component. Others jumped in too fast, making mistakes. David, he trusted his instincts. As he worked, he noticed something. The console didn't just test intelligence. It tested decision-making. Every few seconds, new variables appeared on the screen, forcing the competitors to adapt on the fly. The problem wasn't meant to be solved in a traditional way. It was meant to test how they responded when the rules kept changing. The clock hit 3 o'clock. Someone cursed under their breath. Another competitor stepped back, shaking their head. They were out. David could feel the pressure, the weight of the moment. He had seconds to figure it out. He looked closer at the wires, the shifting data, the patterns emerging on the screen. And then it clicked. He didn't need to fix the device. He needed to break it. Without hesitation, he rerouted the system, forcing an override. The screen flashed red. The mechanical arm stuttered, then reconfigured itself. Complete. A beep echoed through the room. David stepped back just as the timer hit 0 o'clock. The lights flickered. The voice returned. Step forward. You have passed. David exhaled sharply. Around him, only 4 others remained. Half the group was gone. A door slid open at the far end of the lab, revealing another darkened corridor. No explanations. No second chances. David took one last glance at the empty workstations before stepping through the door. The real test had only just begun. The new corridor was darker, colder. The walls, smooth and metallic, seemed to close in with every step. David and the remaining 4 competitors moved forward in silence, their breathing steady but minds racing. No instructions, no explanation, only forward. Then, without warning, the floor beneath them shifted. A mechanical hiss echoed through the space as walls retracted, revealing a massive circular chamber. The ceiling was impossibly high, lined with curved screens displaying live data feeds, numbers, algorithms, shifting equations. Something big was happening here. A voice broke the silence. Not the automated system this time. It was Elon Musk. You made it further than most, he said, his voice calm yet charged with intensity. But intelligence isn't enough. Neither is instinct. This round, it's about who you really are. David's pulse quickened. This wasn't a technical challenge. This was something deeper. In front of you is a button, Musk continued. You have one decision to make. Press it, and you move forward. Don't press it, and you leave. But make no mistake, this is the hardest choice you'll ever make. A metallic clank sounded as 5 pedestals rose from the floor. Each had a single red button. David's fingers twitched. What was the catch? He looked at the others. Some hesitated, calculating the risk. One woman stepped forward almost immediately, pressing her button with confidence. The pedestal retracted instantly. She was gone. No sound. No sign of what happened next. David swallowed hard. This wasn't just about pressing a button. It was about trust. About control. One of the remaining men hesitated too long. The floor beneath him opened silently. 1 second he was there. The next, he was gone. No scream. No struggle. Just gone. David's chest tightened. His mind raced. Was this a test of obedience? A test of fear? The voice returned. Some of you will press it because you crave power. Others will hesitate because you fear the unknown. But the right choice isn't about what you want. It's about what you're willing to sacrifice. David's eyes darted to the final 2 competitors. One pressed the button without hesitation. Gone. Only he and 1 other remained. He took a deep breath. Think. The entire process so far had been about breaking He stepped forward, raised his hand, and pulled his hand back. He didn't press the button. A long pause. The chamber was silent. Then Musk's voice returned, quieter this time. Interesting. The final competitor pressed her button. Gone. Now it was only David. The screens around him flickered. A new doorway appeared, one that hadn't been there before. Slowly, it slid open, revealing a staircase leading downward into darkness. "Welcome to the real test," Musk said. "You're the only one who passed." David exhaled sharply, stepping toward the unknown. "Now, let me ask you, if you were given a choice with no clear right answer, would you trust your instincts, or would you follow the path laid out for you?" Drop your thoughts in the comments. And stay tuned, because what happens next changes everything. David stepped through the doorway, descending into the unknown. The staircase spiraled downward, the walls shifting from sleek metal to something older, rawer, exposed concrete, cables running along the ceiling like veins. This wasn't just a test anymore. This was something deeper, something real. The air was colder here, the silence heavier. He could still hear his own heartbeat, the weight of every decision pressing down on him. Then the voice returned. Elon Musk. But this time, it wasn't coming from hidden speakers. Most people think power is given. Musk's voice echoed from below. They think it comes from money, influence, control. But real power is knowing something no one else does. David reached the final step. In front of him was a dimly lit chamber, the walls lined with holographic displays, blueprints, equations, prototypes of things the world had never seen. And in the center of the room, sitting casually in a leather chair, was Musk himself. No screens, no security, just him. "Congratulations," Musk said, studying him. "You're the only one who passed." David's throat was dry. "Because I didn't press the button." Musk smirked. "Because you didn't follow." David exhaled slowly, his mind racing. So what was the test? Musk leaned forward. "Everyone thinks the world is built by those who take orders. They're wrong. The ones who change everything. They question the orders. They don't ask, what happens if I fail? They ask, what if this isn't the right path at all?" David's pulse pounded. "And now?" Musk gestured around the room. "Now you see what the world isn't ready for." The holograms flickered. One displayed a propulsion system unlike anything that existed. Another showed a self-learning AI capable of rewriting its own code. Then, David saw something that made his stomach drop. A project labeled Nexus Initiative with the words, "Beyond Mars." He took a step closer. "What is this?" Musk stood up, hands in his pockets, eyes gleaming. "The real future. The one no one else knows about. The one only a few will ever have the chance to shape." David felt the weight of it all. The secrecy. The responsibility. The realization that this wasn't just a job opportunity. This was an invitation to rewrite the rules of the world. "So what's my choice?" David asked, voice steady. Musk smiled. "You already made it when you stepped through that door. The question is, are you ready for what comes next?" David turned back toward the holograms, his mind trying to process everything. There were files labeled restricted access, classified projects. He could see hints of technology far beyond what was public knowledge, energy sources, medical breakthroughs, planetary colonization plans, ideas that could reshape humanity. But something else nagged at him. Why me? Why just one? Musk nodded approvingly. "Good question. Everyone wants power, but only a few can handle what comes with it. The truth, David, is that most people would break under this knowledge, the weight of seeing the future before anyone else. Most would either sell it, waste it, or fear it. You hesitated when others obeyed. You didn't follow blindly. That makes you different. That makes you valuable. David inhaled deeply, feeling the gravity of the moment. And what happens if I say no? Musk's smirk faded. You don't leave. Not in the way you think. The words hit like a hammer. He wasn't being forced, not exactly. But he understood now. Once you know the truth, there's no walking away. David turned back to Musk. Then I guess there's only one option. Musk's eyes glinted with something between amusement and respect. Good. Because the real test. It starts now. The door behind David sealed shut. The chamber grew brighter. The screens loading new data. He had just stepped into a world few even knew existed. Now, let me ask you, if you were given the chance to work on something that could change the course of history, but no one could ever know, would you take it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to see where this leads, subscribe now. The walls of the chamber pulsed with data, streams of numbers and equations shifting in real time. David's heart pounded. He wasn't just standing in a secret facility. He was standing on the edge of something far bigger than himself. Musk turned to one of the holograms, swiping through files that shouldn't exist. Most people think about the future in small steps. New phones, faster internet, cleaner energy. But the real future, it's not about improving what we have. It's about leaving all of it behind. David's breath caught as the screen flickered, revealing a planet that wasn't Earth. What you're looking at, Musk continued, is a place no one knows about yet. A place that changes everything. But if you say yes, you won't just know about it. You'll build it. And once you build it, you'll never be able to go back. The weight of the words settled over David. This was the point of no return. He thought about his life before this moment. The struggles, the rejection, the feeling of being trapped in a world that never let him move forward. This was a door few would ever get the chance to open. Musk studied him carefully. You hesitated before. Will you hesitate now? David squared his shoulders. The chamber lights brightened. The holograms shifted again, revealing schematics for technology beyond anything he had ever seen. Musk smiled. Then let's get started. Subscribe now.